the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. This is an excerpt from the speech given by Franklin D. Roosevelt in his inaugural address. And it is something that I've chosen to study and something that has really called my attention, and how we can apply what Franklin D. Roosevelt taught us in his speech today in our lives. Today I'll overview a little bit of his speech and how it applies to us as UVU students and how it applies to the world in general. And let's get into it. So first of all, the background of this speech. The speech was given in 1933, and it was given at the height of the Great Depression. And some of the things that were going on in that time were very dark. We had people jumping from buildings just because they wanted to escape. We had people here putting up signs saying that they would like a rope to be able to hang themselves rather than face their circumstances. There were many things that were affecting the nation that were very disruptive and very scary. And Franklin D. Roosevelt was able to give this speech and inspire the nation, inspire the people, and overall help them overcome their fears. And that is what I hope I'll be able to help share with you, how we can apply this to our lives, even though it was given almost 100 years ago. We as UVU students are accustomed to having a lot of fear and stress in our lives. We have fear and stress of tests. We have fears of failure, fears of rejection in social and economical circumstances as well. And one thing that's really important is to know that we are not alone in this. Most of the people that are around us at UVU are struggling with the same things. And one thing I was able to notice from the speech given by Franklin D. Roosevelt was the amount of self-confidence that he had in himself and he had in others, the people of the nation. And that's something we need to have as well. We need to have confidence in our teachers, confidence in ourselves, and confidence in the others around us. And that is something that is very important that will help us overcome our fears. But we at UVU are not the only ones that have fears in our lives. There are also a lot of people outside who are struggling with fear as well. We have fears that we'll lose our jobs, that our family will get divorced, that someone could die of an illness, that we could get in a car crash, that we could lose our money. There are many fears that we have that are universal, that transcend languages, ethnical barriers. Fear is a universal epidemic, something that we are facing. One thing that FDR said that was very true was how gratefulness can help us overcome our fear. He mentioned that what they were going through in the Great Depression paled in comparison to what the founding fathers and the Pilgrims had to face coming to this nation. And I think that can apply to us as well. If we put our fears in perspective, we'll be able to notice how, not insignificant, but we can have gratefulness for what we do have. And finally, in conclusion, the words of a well-beloved president really ring true even now, much later. We need to overcome these fears. And I believe fear will continue to be a problem throughout all of our lives, but we need to overcome our irrational fears. And we can do this by having confidence in ourselves and those around us and being grateful. We must try to be optimistic and try to focus on what is really important in our lives. Today I've gone over a little bit of Franklin D. Roosevelt's speech and how it applies to us today and the world at large. And just like long ago, people would come out with signs showing their fear, but nowadays people have their fear much deeper down. And by our example, we can be a light to them by relinquishing our fear and overcoming it. Thank you so much for listening to my speech, and that's it.